Hello!
Hi.
Hi! I think I said it too early. It's our first ever live stream. This is very exciting.
Yeah, who's our viewer?
Oh yeah, we've got the chat open. You do not have to be a member to chat. We made sure we turned that off.
If you're watching on TV, then
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never done it before.
You might have.
Hey, second viewer.
Woo! Two.
Can you click on them?
I don't. Nope, we lost them. You called them out. They're gone. Yeah, so we're going to just kind of have a little fireside chat today, chat about things. We've got stuff we want to talk about, but if you guys have questions for us or just want to say hi or have us talk about something, please put it in the chat and we will answer it as we see it. If you are watching on a TV, I think you can probably pull it up on your phone and engage that way. Is how I would think, but
yeah, I don't know.
This is all a big test run.
Yeah, it's a test run. Sorry, I'm on Twitch a lot, but I don't know how YouTube works.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even on Twitch, you have to there's like a QR code or something on the screen, and then you like click it, and then you can chat on your phone. Because
that's cool.
I don't know how YouTube does it, so yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, we'll just kind of get into it, and if you guys have questions as we go along, add them in. But we're going to start by talking about kind of like where we are in the build right now. We didn't have a video on Sunday.
Because we knew we were going to do this.
One, because we knew we were going to do this, but also we started filming some stuff and it was just like really boring. I don't know.
There's a lot of boring stuff that goes on here.
It doesn't, like, everything we do does not make it in the video, so sometimes it's just like, I've got to clean things up, or like,
we just cleaned right now.
We just cleaned right now.
Yeah.
You were like stripping the ends of wires and the electrical boxes.
I think that's what I was doing, yeah. And you're like, you're not shooting this.
Yeah. I think I made 2 clips. I'm like, if I make a video out of this, this is going to be the most boring thing.
Yeah. I didn't even like doing it.
Yeah.
Just like, gosh. That's one reason. So one of the things, well, we'll talk about that again, but a lot of the things that we're doing now are like things I just didn't want to do. I'm like,
that's literally the theme for the video that's going out on Sunday is let's do all the things we didn't do.
So it's like finishing plumbing stuff, the electrical wire, cutting the ends. And normally, I mean, I'm not an electrician, but I imagine when you do an electrical box, you run the wire and then do what you got to do in that box and then move on. Well, I ran a wire to the box and I did nothing that I needed to do. And then so we had to come back and that's what we're talking. That's what Chelsea's talking about. So, but yeah, so where we're at.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so kind of like where we are today in the build, February 29th, Leap Day 2024. Basically, what percentage would you say we're at in terms of like being to inspection right? I know it's hard, but
it's like we're that close.
Yeah,
we're that close. So
very close.
But the thing is like if you, I mean, this goes on to the next talking point was like if you ask me how long things are gonna take, like I'm pulling out a number I'm making it up. It's a made up number because I don't know. I've never done some of this stuff, so it's like, oh yeah, that should take me. I should be able to knock out X, Y, Z tomorrow, and then I do X. And then part of Z.
Y is forgotten.
Yeah, and that's what happened today. Yeah. So happened today. I was like, and I'm tired. I'm tired. Tomorrow we're taking a day off. We're going to Springs. But yeah, I would say we're just like we're very close. We're very close.
Yeah. At least like the last 10%.
Yeah, definitely. So with plumbing, what we have is I got to do caps and put the test. So when you do plumbing, you got to pressurize the drain and also the water coming in. And so I just got to finish getting the caps. I knew I didn't have all the caps for it. So we have like the toilets, I got to cap off, the vent on top, I got to cap off. And then we got to connect that to the septic. And one reason why it's holding us up is, and it's not a surprise, I should have done this in the summer, but then it's like, oh, something happens. I'm like, oh, I should have done this. I should do this now. And then I don't. So now the ground is frozen. So Chelsea was actually going at that, like chiseling at it with their.
Yeah, you can watch that in the video on Sunday.
That's coming up. Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah,
so fun.
It's fun. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. We're going to the Springs tomorrow, and we're gonna get some of the supplies for that. And then electric, we're running it to the power shed.
Yes.
Yeah, we're running it to the power shed. I got to like the wires in the front. I haven't done because it's been sometimes windy, and it's cold when it's windy. And I'm like, that'll take me a few minutes to do. I'm not worried about it. It's like an outlet and then the lights. I just got to finish wiring those up. So
like on paper, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
But the like chiseling out the septic connector pipe that's in the ground is not going to take 5 minutes.
So while Chelsea was doing that, I was underneath finishing up the pipe that's going to come out. And then after I finished it, I was like, that's trash. So I'm going to redo it. I'm going to redo it this weekend. I'm going to get some new fittings and then redo that. So not really exciting, but
yeah,
I've got to.
So we're right there. We're almost there. Inspections are going to happen sometime in the next, I don't know, a couple weeks.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be next week, but hopefully we schedule it. We call them next week. I did talk to both inspectors, plumbing and electric. I talked to the plumber 2 days ago. I think he called me. I emailed him and he called me, and I had a couple questions about how they wanted to do the pressure check, and he cleared that up, and then I was like, what are some of the common? He's like, well, I wouldn't say common, but I mean, it's like mainly it's contractors that he deals with contractors the most.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, why are we doing all this? And some of it was because we did have some hiccups with contractors in the past.
Yeah.
In Tampa, we had our bathroom redone, and the plumbing contractor was probably the one team if they were working on my property today, I would have fired them. I would fire them immediately.
Yeah.
One, because I had a request and he was in my house and he was like, that's weird. And I was almost like, I was so taken aback that someone said that to the homeowner. I was like, oh my gosh. And then they failed at 3 inspections in a row. So
yeah, it was kind of a big one.
Yeah. And so
can't do your job, I guess.
So I'm not ragging on contractors. They have we're not gonna get into it, but that's one of the reasons why we're doing it ourselves. Like I'm learning how to do it, and when we have a problem, I should hopefully know how to fix it, and we'll see. But I don't know. I probably went on a tangent about.
I was just thinking the wind's blowing and it's cold.
Is it cold? I was sweating 2 seconds ago, so
maybe I have one fewer layer than you.
It's just this
that
wrap. Yeah,
I took mine off.
My hair's kind of a mess without it, so just hiding my ears.
We didn't get dressed up for the live stream, sorry.
Yeah, I could take this off too.
So that's where we are in the build. Let's talk about, and I don't know how long we'll be able to talk about this for, because we were trying to think about it before, but like pain points and struggles that we've encountered.
Oh, everything.
Because it is everything. But we're trying to think like, if someone had what came to us and was like, oh, we're thinking of building our own house, and then they're like, what's some of the stuff you ran into, or like that threw you off track or something. I was like, man, where would you even start with that?
A lot of it, I would say, is like mental.
Really?
Oh yeah, mental.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially like not knowing. If you do this for a living, it's different. But whenever we're doing a lot of stuff that I've just never done before, so it's just like there was a lot of unknowns and there was a lot of moments of discouragement, and then sometimes whenever you get past that, it's like, oh, now I understand how this works, or reading the code or whatever, and you're like, and you kind of feel more confident, because like we were one of the biggest problems I was running into, I don't know about you, and was before I talked to the electrical inspector. Yeah, because I was just like, I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna fail on this and this XYZ. The solar, I was worried about that. Oh, the fascia. Oh, they're holding up great.
Hi, Dad.
The fascia is doing awesome.
The fascia was awful to install.
It
that
was
should
bad.
be the top pain point, because oh my gosh, that might be. This is a question later on, like least favorite part of the build, but that one might be.
That was not fun. I would say even just putting the sheathing on the soffit. So underneath the whole thing is an eave. If you're looking at the side of a roof, you got your soffit underneath and the fascia on the side. That's what. Oh yeah, we'll go back to that, Dad. We'll talk about that in a second. But the fascia is doing really good.
It is doing good, yeah.
But the flashing for the roof.
Oh yeah, the flashing.
That we're gonna leave it.
That ties into what you're talking about,
Yeah.
the mental though, because you're saying like we're doing things we don't know, and that was something that even when you like researched it, we ended up not really doing it in the most complete way.
Yeah. So the problem with the flashing is that, and I'm not gonna knock anyone, but because whenever I ordered all the roof material, the guy I ordered it to, he's like, hey, look, man, I don't know everything about the roof.
Right.
I don't. And I was like, okay, well, cool. We'll figure it out together. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we missed a component. The flashing has like, it's like the roof, and then the flashing goes, if you're not familiar, goes on the side, and then the fascia is what's underneath the flashing, and the flashing was supposed to have this like metal piece that connects to the fascia, and then you put the flashing on it, and then it holds it really secure, right? It's really tight. Well, instead, I just have screws on the flashing, and I was like, you screw it. So if we get 50 mile an hour winds, that flashing's flapping all around.
Going,
yeah, we the first time it happened, we were in the RV, and then we heard this noise. We're like, man, things are falling apart. Like,
yeah.
And then Chelsea and I.
Yeah, this is a fun day, and I'm really sad we didn't film it, because in like 5 years, this would be the clip I pull up to be like, hey, remember that really, really terrible time?
And it's not windy all the time, okay? No. So it's windy, and then we go outside. Chelsea and I I get on a ladder, and she's holding the ladder, and I just start screwing every I don't know,
just imagine
6 feet or so.
Wind.
Yes.
Snow. Again, 50 miles an hour.
50 plus.
We're up on the ladder.
We're on a ladder.
Yeah.
And then we're like, cool. The flapping starts going. And then we go inside. And then it stops. It stops. Like zero.
Immediately stops.
0 miles per hour.
Clear.
Yeah. I'm like, what the?
And we were like.
And then it came back.
It came back. So it was still good that we did it. But it was just like, we're like, we might actually lose the flashing.
Yeah, it was bad.
Flipping up.
The fascia itself is awesome.
Yeah, but the flashing.
So when you do come this summer, you'll see the front. I don't really like it. Whenever I fill up to it, I'll probably redo the whole flashing, or I'll hire somebody. I'm probably gonna do it myself. But the flashing itself is not that expensive. So maybe a couple $100. But yeah, Dad, you asked, so what did the inspector say about the common things to watch out for? So the inspector I talked with was the plumbing inspector, and then he said, he was like, I wouldn't say it's common, but I would say I argue about this mainly with contractors the most. And what it is when you do, say you have a pipe and you cut a hole in the wood, right? So this is you can't see. Say this is the hole, right? And you have the wood. Well, you're supposed to put a plate on it. And then so I was like, yeah, I understand that. Well, in the code, the plate is supposed to go up or down. So you only need the plate if it's 1.25 inches away from the top or the bottom plate. So it's the wood. So you have your framing, right? Your top and bottom plate, and then the plate is this blocking is going to protect the pipe. Is supposed to go like, I think it's a 2 inches in the code book. Yeah, 2 inches above the wood. So you're gonna get a plate. The wood is 1.5 inches. So you're gonna get a plate that's 3.5 inches. Yeah, that's what. And he's like, and when he said it, I was like, cool. And I found it in the code, and I was like, dude, we got to reread this. I don't, and it's very clear. It's very clear. A lot of these things are very written like it was from the Air Force with what I did in the military. It's just very like kind of they try to like blah blah blah. It's really simple writing. So, but if you're not familiar with it, it can be really confusing. So after he read it again and I read it together, we're like, gotcha, bingo. So I would have felt that one, because I don't think I would have reread that. I would have put a small plate on there and like, oh, it's good. And then he's like, easy fell.
New question.
Is pellet stove ash a good additive to soil for your gardens? Oh, that's a good question. I've been vacuuming that up and throwing it away. So we'll save some next season, I imagine, when we redo gardens and possibly greenhouse. That's one of the next projects.
Yeah. I haven't looked it up specifically, but there are specific types of composting that use wood ash. I think it's called like bokashi or something compost. And it's a little more, there's a lot of nuances to like getting the pH right and stuff. So in my head, I would think, I think it could be helpful, but it might also depend on like if if your garden is lacking something. So like the soil here, where there is soil and not rocks, actually isn't that bad. It's slightly nitrogen deficient and a little calcium deficient. So I'd have to see if the wood like
the water.
Yeah, the water has plenty of calcium, but
yeah.
I'll look that up though. That's a great question.
Good question. Yeah.
What talking point would you like to dive into next?
Well, some of the stuff I probably would have brought, like if we did the siding, I'd actually bring it in. I can go grab it. All right. Timeline.
This is like the most common question we get.
We do get this a lot from
like
friends and family.
Yeah, when are you going to be done?
And it's when we're done, man. So if you ask me today what I think when we'll be done, I told Chelsea yesterday I think we'll be done May, June. The goal was April, and then sometime April, like late April. And so I think whenever I kind of push it back a little bit, it's kind of like definitely is more peaceful because the biggest holdup right now is getting the inspections done, and then a lot of stuff that we are going to do after inspections we're at least done before in some shape or form. Not saying that our skill level is because I look around here, we did this, and I freaking hate the drywall on here. I mean, you see this tape right here, and that's mainly because I was like one coat, and I was like, I need to go back to the house. So we start
rush job.
Yeah, and this whole wall is gonna be Chelsea wants to have a bookshelf, so we're like, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, covered.
But yeah, I would say May, June, and then
that's probably like totally done.
Yeah,
that's not to say we couldn't. Not that we would do this, but it's not like it would be potentially
livable.
Move-in ready or livable earlier than
that. And any time that I say is all made up. It's all fake. It's I don't know, you know, because we're gonna have projects. We're gonna move in, and we're gonna have little like passion projects that I'm like, I want to do this, but I don't need this to live.
Yeah,
you know. Have we had any cow intrusions into the property? No. We have not.
Fence is holding up.
Yeah, they came up a couple times to if you remember the hill over here, if you're looking out towards the mountain, the hill, and then the corner of the property. But they came up a few times, and then
they like to lay along the fence for whatever reason, because I think cows like to like rub up on stuff like for itches.
I don't think I saw them do that though.
Oh, I did see.
A few times.
Mind. Yeah. And then when I go on runs and stuff, I'll see them. Well, not today. I didn't see any cows, but they like to go find like posts and like itch. So they like our fence posts. But recently, it's been colder-ish. So I think they've been lower where it's been
mostly
warmer.
Lower.
So
we've seen them up here a few times. I saw them at the neighbor's property.
Yeah.
Last week, I think, but
yeah,
they'll probably be back this summer.
Yeah.
Up here, totally. I mean, this place has been very quiet. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially with cows.
Let's since you mentioned the greenhouse and like other projects, let's talk about other stuff with the house, and then maybe other stuff like we're gonna do just on the property in general. Yeah,
for sure. So one of the things that we want to do in the house is some built-in shelves along the dining area. I'm gonna tomorrow. Now, if you've been following us, and you probably know that we redid some of the planning, and that what that did was that kind of knocked some of my planning, the layout. So that knocked some of my planning for like a ventilation system. Now we're not doing an AC unit in the house. We really don't need it. But this proves that we might, because it's freaking hot in here. I'm like burning up. It's 46 degrees, and I'm sweating. We have the window open. Well, I am wearing base layer. I'm wearing a lot of stuff too. Take that up. But so we want to do some built-ins. There's gonna be a couple of things I'm gonna do with lighting that will change up. That might not be there right away. It's gonna be very, very plain when we move in, probably. Just painting and simple. And then some of the things that we're gonna work on a list. Chelsea and I have talked about. We already have a list in our head. We've talked about it 8 million times. Yeah. But what's up, Reese?
Yo, Reese.
Yeah. So we've talked about it a few times, Chelsea and I. But it's like we're gonna prioritize but based on time and mainly money. And everything's expensive, right? So, but the first thing we really, really, really want to do, and I'll be honest with you, is I wanted to put the deck on. One reason why we're not doing it now is because time and money. It's going to take some time to do that. And then we've had a couple. I think I quoted myself. I like went to the extreme. I like made a big deck. I designed a big deck, and I think I couldn't sleep one night. So I was like, okay, how many joists or whatever you need? You know, I planned out everything. You know, all this stuff. And it was like $20,000. I was like, everything was metal and things. You know, so
it would last forever.
Yeah, I was like, I want this to last.
I mean, 100 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think we're gonna do that though. But the deck. Chelsea ones. We have a couple ideas for greenhouses. You mentioned some of this, the problems that we might run into with the greenhouse stuff.
Yeah, so the greenhouse is a little tricky. One of the problems with being at a high, like desert elevation, is that it actually gets very warm in the summer, especially with the sun's direct heat. And then
the sun is on my leg right now, and it's like
that's why the office is warm. It was getting some nice direct winter sunlight, but also in the winter it gets really cold, right? So you're like, oh, if I want to extend my growing season, because the growing season here is something like 90 days. You need a hoop house, you need a greenhouse of some kind, something to cover it. But if you just put a regular old greenhouse that you couldn't open doors or windows or the roofing for, you would actually like burn your plants to death. Someone local was like, yeah, I did that, and basically it was like 170 degrees in my greenhouse. And I was like,
they built a sauna.
I know. I'm like, you sure you built a greenhouse? So we're still making some considerations with that, but we need something that we can adjust for the temperature fluctuations, of which there are a lot.
There's a lot, yeah.
But this year the plan is to continue with the exterior garden, I guess.
Yeah.
And grow some things inside the house too. But last year was called the Chaos Garden. I basically just threw a bunch of seeds down and was like, let's see what happens. And
awesome.
Then it was awesome. I think it worked out really well
because the lettuce.
Things grew. So and that was like
the cool thing. I got to mention the lettuce though, because the thing I loved about the lettuce was I love having lettuce on my burgers. I love it. Right. And so if we don't eat lettuce all the time with other things, we make salads on occasion, but whenever, or my sandwiches or something. So I just go outside, grab a couple
it was
pieces,
just like,
it's so fresh, rinse it off, and then have at it.
It was so good.
Oh man, chickens. Oh, that's all her. That's all Chelsea.
I don't know.
I don't think we're gonna do chickens.
So one of our neighbors has chickens, and I've like checked them out, taking care of them when they've been out of town before. And they're just like small dinosaurs. They're small velociraptors. And I don't know, that kind of freaks me out. And also I still want to be able to like leave.
Yeah.
We can take our dogs with us. We can't take chickens with us. So
can you imagine Kona around chickens?
I kill everything.
She's actually, I would say she's probably one of the best dogs out of all of. Haven't met the two newest ones, Kiwi and Millie, yet, but I would say I freaking love Kona to death. Like whenever she sees something that's like out of the norm, a car,
like
a truck,
like just murderer mode.
Yeah, a cow, anything that's alive, anything that moves, she will just like zone out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder you. Hi, Ira.
Hi, Ira. Thanks for commenting. She said, please continue the build. Yes, we really do need to continue the build.
We do. I'll get to work right now.
We need to go back to work right now. That's awesome. No, we really appreciate the support, because some days are hard.
It is.
Which is probably a good segue. I mean, there's other things we could talk about building, but this seemed like a natural segue to talk about like motivation and stuff like that, because I know I feel like this is a topic you're especially passionate about, because I feel like you have lots of thoughts and things about it, but
Kona's gonna do a Q&A.
Kona is not invited to this Q&A. Sorry.
She wants, whenever she's in any of the thing that we built, she's just like, cool, looks good in here, let me out. She doesn't, except if it's snowing outside actively, like if we were in here, then she would stay. Oh, yeah. But other than that, she's like, let me back in the trailer, or let me just sit outside and guard. She'll just, I sent a picture earlier. Yeah. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. and she just, and literally after I sent it, she moved to
a new spot.
So if you're not in our family group chat with Chelsea's family, there's Kona. That's their youngest.
Always looking dead.
Yeah. So I take a picture of her there, and then I walk away, and then she's on this little perch I built for Jazz years ago, and then I walk away, and then she's on the dirt, just like sitting right next to it. I'm like, you're out of control. It looks exactly the same. Every position, she's like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we were talking about motivation. Oh my goodness.
Maybe like both large scale, like for the project as a whole, but also like very small. Like I woke up this morning and like blah,
waking up in the morning, I have no motivation. I'm like, oh God, another day. Today was one of those.
Today was pretty rough.
I didn't want to move. I was like, I am so tired.
I mean, context for today, we worked all weekend.
Yeah, I don't remember my last like physical day off. Normally we try to take Sundays off because you really need it. You need to have like a day of just decompress, rest.
Yeah.
Do something that you like to do some yoga. Usually it ends up being like a chore day, unfortunately. But overall, I mean, shoot, motivation is crazy to think about because we could go back to like childhood all the way to like should I start at like when we got to like deciding to do this, so I'll start there real quick. I was in the Air Force for 11 years, and Chelsea's like, what do you want to do when you get out? And I was trying different things. I started a master's program. I was planning to do like another certificate program. I'm like, what am I going to do? I really didn't want to do what I was doing in the Air Force as a civilian. I had no interest in. I was like, at my last job was as an instructor, and I wouldn't mind doing that. But I was like, I don't want to instruct this, so whatever. And so she's like, what do you want to do? And we're walking the dogs. And I'm like, I want to build my own house. We kind of talked about it for like to do years from now. I mean,
yeah,
we were thinking about this since 2018, and I thought that I would do this in like 2030 or something.
Yeah, you'd retire from there.
Yeah, when we retire, and then when we were living in our house, we had our contractors who did our bathroom. They wanted to charge us like $30,000 to do the kitchen. Actually, it was probably been more.
I think it was 40.
Yeah, 40. And that was before. That was just the first quote. They're like, it's probably gonna be more. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah. I did it for 10 or 15 or something like that, $12,000 myself. Mm-hmm. Chelsea helped it, obviously. Mm-hmm. And it turned out pretty good. So we were like, hey, I just liked seeing something that we come up with in our heads and then make a plan and then execute it, really. And there's more to that too. But every time we do something and it's like, dang, how are we going to do this? And then we come think about it, learn, get in the code books, get into YouTube. And I don't follow people like me. I don't like do what DIYers. I don't learn a lot from DIYers. I try to learn from people who've been doing this for 20, 30 years, and how they're experienced. Not everybody. There's some people who've done stuff for 20, 30 years that are still trash, but like, whatever. But like people who are really passionate about this and teaching and stuff. And then, I don't know. It's just like one of those things that's just like, and it's fun to watch Chelsea do awesome things with the videos. I mean, she does everything with the videos, and that's one of the things that she was like, I want to do that,
Yeah.
And
no one's forcing us to make videos.
No, for me, it's more like I plan to watch. I don't watch hardly any of them. And I was at the beginning, and it's not personal against the videos. It's just like I just did that, and I don't need to relive that so fast.
Nope.
So every once in a while I'll go back and like look at old stuff and definitely Instagram or the stuff that we did in Tampa, and it's just like, hey man, just look how far you've gone, And I think that's what's really important for me to remember because right now I wouldn't say I'm in a stage where I'm discouraged, but there was like up until maybe the beginning of the year or whenever I talked to the first inspector, I mean, I was probably mentally just like, man, I don't know what the F I'm doing, you know, like, and then so, and you think about it, it's like, I don't know, it kind of looks like you do, but like, and then we do have a dicer and a guy who comes by, and he's just like, man, you guys are rocking and rolling, you know, and it's really cool to hear. And he's a builder. He was a builder for many years. His family comes from a family of builders, custom homes, $1 million homes, and he's like, this is some stuff that I haven't seen before, and it looks great. I mean, you know, if you see in the chat, Doug Corrito is Chelsea's father, and he helped us so much with the framing and other things. There's a big inspiration. If you watch some of the old videos with the plumbing, like he introduced me to plumbing. I was like, yeah, cool. He's gonna come and fix our pipe, and he was like, all right, here's the tools. This is how you do it. And I was like, okay, you know, and that's empowering to do, and you know. It's having something that you don't know, and then learning it, and then doing it, and be like, oh, it works. It's good. I mean, even the RV stuff is. I hate the RV. Yeah, the RV's the worst. But it works.
It works.
It works.
Just barely.
Yeah. So I don't know. There might be more about motivation. I could talk about it all day.
Something I think about that's kind of funny is like, so you're in the house all day building. I'm in the office. I could see the house all day. And it's like, there was a time where it was really like more of a shell, and it just kind of felt like a project, you know. Now it actually kind of feels like a house. Like there's the electric running through it and the plumbing, and not that it works yet, but it's like almost there. But there is something about like, I walk by it every day, and it's just like, we're both very like used to seeing it. And sometimes it's like we built that. And yet we still have doubts about doing certain things, but it's like we've built a whole house to this point. Yeah. I don't know, but like I'll talk to friends about it, and they're like, yeah, well, you're building a whole house or whatever. And I'm like, it just doesn't, like, I don't wake up in the morning and like look in the mirror and say, you're a badass, you built a house. I'm just like, oh my God, I live in an RV, like a van down by the river. And I like try and make myself look like a functioning adult human being when I go to my day job. And it's just like, I don't know. Some days I go to work and it's like, we don't have any water. Sometimes I was in a conference call yesterday and the power went out, and I was just like, yeah, this is my life. So I don't know. There's just like,
and a lot of those hiccups are like things that I probably should have known better.
I mean, it's fun. This is not like a brag on Brian by any means, but it's just like, it's interesting, like the perception of us being like in it and being so focused on the end goal of being like, we haven't finished. We still have all this to do, and it still feels like this mountain to climb, if you will. Yeah. Even if we're almost at the top, right? And it's like kind of going to be downhill at a certain point. But other people, I guess maybe like some of you guys who are watching or whatever, you're just like, oh my gosh, they did that themselves. They poured concrete, they lifted these walls, they framed it. Brian learned how to plumb and do electrical wiring and stuff. And it's like, yeah, when you say it like that, it sounds really impressive. And then when you're doing it, I'm like, I don't know, I need to channel that impressive-ness. Because I don't feel it. On a daily basis, I don't feel it. So that's not where my motivation comes from, I guess. But it should.
I feel it sometimes. Good. Sometimes I do look in the mirror and I'm like, sometimes I have to tell myself, like, you got this, dude. Because like, because it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes I'm just like, I'd rather just sleep.
At this point, my motivation is, oh my gosh, next month marks 2 years of living full-time in an RV.
It is. Wow.
And it's like, it's the end of March, but we're like, whatever, 11 months in. And it's like I need to live in a house again.
One of the things that I don't think it's on our talking points, but I wanted to kind of mention was a few of the things that I probably would have done differently.
Oh yeah.
And we probably could have a whole video about this, and we probably will when we actually finish, because there's going to be a lot of things that we didn't account for when we're like finishing touches and stuff like that. But one of the things that I think someone mentioned it, I don't know if it was a subscriber or someone who follows us regularly, but they mentioned it when we raised the floor. If you remember that in the living room, we raised the floor, and someone mentioned, well, you should have put bigger windows. And then Chelsea read that, and I was like, well, no shit. I don't know if these are supposed to be no cussing or anything, but basically that's my thought. I was like, no, duh. We got those windows originally like October.
We ordered them in October of 2022.
Yeah, 2022 October.
And we finished installing them in
Yeah.
October of 2023.
Yeah, so
a whole year there.
Like a whole year. So one of the things that as someone who's not a designer, I wanted a big door. I really wanted a big door.
Big door.
Yeah, and so I believe that the windows we got are more sized for a normal size door, which is 80 inches, where our doors are 96. So I would have had, if I thought about it ahead of time, I would have had bigger windows, 16 inches lower. No big deal. That's just one. What was the other stuff? Okay, in the future, I don't see. This is where I get really, really questionable. But I probably would contract out framing and everything up until.
Everything we've done so far, we would contract.
No, I would still be okay with electrical. Plumbing, I don't know. I mean, plumbing just wasn't fun. I would say that.
No.
I look at it now, I'm like, I think this is gonna work pretty well. But like,
when you're in a crawl space and no plumbing's been done,
fun
you're
to
like,
do, man. It's just almost like, oh my gosh, my shoulders. Like, I had shoulder surgery on my right shoulder. This one I've dislocated several times as well. I probably need surgery. I don't work out, and that's one thing I would change too. I would probably work out more. I probably work out regularly, and then be strong, because like it's like I'm like holding this. I'm twisting something. I was like, man, my forearms just on fire.
Yeah.
So working out,
hard.
Being in better shape would help.
We've got some questions. Let's see. Chad says, if you're already into this, let us know. What are good sources to find lane? I don't know what that is. I look at some sites, but I see that they're limited. Chad, let us know what you're actually looking for, and we'll answer that. Maybe it was a typo. I know the chat's kind of funny.
Changing it, yeah.
And Dave, my godfather, Connecticut. Yo. Hi. I'm sure maybe everyone's there. I don't know. Whole family, we say hi. To edit. That's okay, Chad. No worries. We are in a little just casual,
hanging out.
Casual fireside chat. So we will definitely answer your question if we can. But that's that sourcing things and just finding like information, actual materials. I mean, the amount of time Brian spends on that.
I've been working on finding materials for years.
Yeah.
Years. I have like a whole like favorite in your browser.
Yeah.
I can't remember browser. Anyways, I have like a whole favorite thing that I go back to every so often. But yeah, we find there's a couple of suppliers. My favorite supplier is local. So Ace Hardware is our local one.
This is not the Ace that's in your suburban strip mall.
Yeah.
Which most of us are familiar with. This is like a huge building supply source for the entire county.
Yeah, they have a whole back section, and we have 3 guys I work with, and they can pretty much get anything I need. But they're awesome. If you're wanting something more affordable, then probably not. But,
there's some things we've chosen to get from like a Home Depot.
I get a lot of things from Home Depot and Lowe's. I sometimes just go in town, hour and a half away.
The big town.
The big town. And then a lot of Supply House is pretty cool. It's pretty good. It's delivery. I mean, FedEx just drove by. I feel bad. I mean, we gave our FedEx and UPS guys a gift this year for Christmas. I think
they're gonna get something nice when we're done.
Yeah, because they come sometimes they come on muddy days. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but like this is where I need to get it. Supply House, build.com is one of my big things that I get a lot of the stuff for, like the vent stuff or the ventilator, this ERV.
Oh yeah.
And then those are the main ones. Then just finding stuff on Google and I'm like, what is it? So a lot of stuff I learned from.
How did you kind of like teach yourself?
Yeah, so the Build Show from on YouTube, that's with Matt Reisinger, and then they have a whole like network of people, so building science and stuff, and this is basically a lot of stuff that we're doing. It's not like some old school things as well. A lot of it's kind of not new, but some of the science behind the build is I think it's pretty cool. I'm not like promoting it like, oh, I'm doing this like well, I'm just trying to build this thing, like whatever.
You're
but
not designing the future of future homes.
No. But I would love to get a blower door test, but right now it would not do really well because I know I have a bunch of holes in there I need to plug.
That's true.
And then Awesome Framers on YouTube and Instagram. Tim Euler, he's an awesome dude.
Oh, there goes the sun.
And they're all in Vegas right now for the International Build Show. So
why aren't we there?
I actually wanted to go, but
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I did not. Chad, what was the thing you did want to?
Oh yeah, throw it in the chat if you want us to answer.
Yeah.
There was something else I was gonna say. I thought about motivation, and then I totally you were talking and it sparked an idea, and then
just blob.
Just blob. Oh, I think it was about teaching yourself different skills and things. Because Brian, this is his full-time job, right? Like he's building the house, he's learning, planning, designing. I have a day job. I work 9 to 5. So a lot of the technical and scientific aspects, I suppose, I just have a more base level understanding of, and he really designs it and puts it together and plans it. But I was gonna say way back when we were maybe we could build our house sooner. I think it was my mom that was hey, we saw these people building a container house on YouTube, and they were they had no experience, and we were just wait,
what?
Can do this?
People are doing this too,
and people are putting it on YouTube, and so it's the channel.
At their dining table.
Yeah, we went to dinner at my parents' house, and so the first channel we saw was Life Uncontained. I mean, if you guys are into building channels, you've probably heard of them. Sources for Land.
Oh, land.
Oh, this is a great one. Okay, well, I'll answer this after my thought.
Yeah.
So Life Uncontained, they're just some young folks. They've been online for a while now, but there's another channel called Wild Wonderful Off Grid, and they're a family that had built their own A-frame and are now building a more traditional stick frame edition.
Yeah. And they got other things going on too.
Yeah, they've got a lot.
West Virginia.
But watching them, they basically did, minus the A-frame part, exactly what we had wanted to do and are doing. And he had electrician experience. He's an electrician. So he's one of the kind of DIYers that we have watched their videos and been okay, they've done what we want to do.
Yeah.
And he's actually explaining the technical know-how like a professional would. So we watched them and just at the, you were saying, what inspired us in the very beginning, what motivated us? I would say just seeing other regular people who aren't professionals, people who haven't built houses before, doing it was something that actually kind of sparked us to be well, we should film this and share it. Because we could just film it for us and be one day we'll make home videos out of it. But the idea of being we're going to post something every week, we're going to build a community, we're going to talk about pushing your limits, we're going to talk about going for these huge goals and project setting and all that, that was really the start of it. And that's why we do it, because I don't know, there's a friend in town who apparently we inspired to just go off on a whole new adventure. He had his last day at his job yesterday, and he's I'm going, and he's we're where are you going? He's I don't know, but I'm going back to school and I'm leaving and I'm just gonna go. And he's you guys inspired me. I'm perfect. You don't have to know everything.
No, don't know everything
to do it. You'll find out along the way.
You'll figure it out.
I mean, I think
it's hard.
Oh, so hard.
But you push yourself and you see yourself grow, and it's it's probably I don't say, it's the most inspiring thing, but it's the most inspiring thing for me to do. It's one of the most things I'm proud of.
Yes.
And you look back and you're oh wow, I did this in the past with other things. I just didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
Going back to school or joining the military or just uprooting yourself and moving, So.
Yeah, or you could leave the military,
yeah.
change jobs, move out of your house, sell all your possessions, move across the country, not in a new one, decide to build your own house. Oh wait, we did all of that all at once.
Yeah. and the thing about that is like, we did not have all the answers. We did not know. I didn't even know where the house was going to go. Mm-hmm. We actually thought it was going to go further down. We marked it, and then I found the marker later. And then when we we actually did the picked the spot. That was like one of the best spots for that.
Yeah.
One of the things that we didn't do ourselves, and I probably am fine with, and if we ever do more projects, I don't know. I keep talking about a tractor, but I'm like, I hate messing with dirt. I hate it so much. I don't like it. I don't want to do anything with the dirt. So we had an excavator. They did the excavation, and then I started to do the backfill myself. It was so unfun that we ended up hiring an excavator. I actually fell over. I don't know if you're familiar with those. I forget what those called, but the
what is it called?
It's those skid steers that you stand on. And then Chelsea just walked outside. She happened to see it, and I had it, and then got this dirt, and then I tipped over, and then somehow my brain kicked in to do what I had to do to fall back down. But I was like, that was one of the scariest moments because it could have tipped over on top of me, or I would have had to jump off. And then I could have got really hurt. And I'm like, this is just not worth it.
No.
So we hired somebody, paid them a lot of money.
You can try and do a whole lot on your own, but when you realize like I could die.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, you just hire a professional.
So,
That's fine.
And there's some things I probably would have done for like, we still might get a lift. But anyways, Chad had a question about land.
Yes, how to find land.
We used, I think they combined, right? Land Watch.
So back in our day, which was like 2020 and 2021, we
actually started looking in 2018. But not for this.
Not for this. That was all over the place. So when we're looking here, we started with land.com, Land of America. Is that what it's called?
Lands of America?
Lands of America.
Something
and they
like
might
that.
have combined now.
Yeah. I think land.com too.
Land.com is the best one I think we found.
And then sorry.
I was just saying, if you're looking for like vacant land, so our land is what you would call raw land when we bought it, which is there are no electrical hookups. It wasn't connected to city sewer, septic, anything like that. Like it was just a bunch of dirt.
Actually, it had junk on it.
And it actually had junk on it.
We had to have someone take it off.
We're like, you gotta get rid of that. So,
I kind of wish I was like, that looks like an old dune buggy, but it's like I don't have time for projects.
No. But those were the best. You can find land on Zillow. We didn't have the best luck with that, but I would say the best use of those sites was really to get a feel for what's available in any given area.
Yeah.
So when we had started, like in 2018, we were looking at places like outside of Park City, Nevada. We were looking at Asheville. We were looking in Washington and Oregon State. I mean, we just didn't know. And so those sites made it really easy to be like, well, what could we afford? What is it close to? That kind of thing. Susan, go ahead.
One thing I would add is if you know the area you're interested in purchasing land, visit.
Yeah.
Go there, visit. It's worth it. We visited Asheville, like you said, 4 or 5 places before we picked it. And then when we came here, we had 3 plots of land we wanted to check out. Well, the thing I want to add to that is that there's also going to be realtors and real estate companies that will have stuff that's probably not posted online. So if I can go into town right now and then just go look at their wall or go talk to somebody, and they might, or you drive around. Honestly, you might drive around. Some people are selling it owner build. Just down the street, there's one that's an owner sell. They didn't build that land.
That was there. Yeah, that was. So it's like the online sites are really helpful if you're still you're not totally sure where you want to end up. It's helpful for kind of like big picture thinking. But as soon as we knew like this is the county we wanted to be in, because it's a relatively small county, so I know some counties are really big, but it was a small county, so we're like, this is our area, this is our budget, here's what we're looking for. I contacted probably like 4 or 5 realtors, and only one got back to me, and she's the one we worked with. She's the one that we flew out here to meet. We looked at those 3 properties and we're like, this is the one.
Ironically enough, the person who, the realtor who was selling the land did not respond to Chelsea.
She could have been the seller's agent and the buyer's agent.
Yeah,
she could have made a nice little commission, but no, she never got back to me. So, yeah, we also have a little shout out here, Chad. We have an ebook all about how to find and buy land. You can head to our Patreon page. It's connected on our YouTube channel page. So if you are still looking for help with that, that would be the resource I'd point you to. So, wow, we've already talked for 50 whole minutes. That's crazy. It's a lot of talking. So with the last 10 minutes of this fun little chat, put any additional questions in the live chat on the screen. We will answer them, of course. Let's do, while you guys are pondering any last questions, let's do a little lightning round.
Oh, sure.
Because this will be fun. All right, I'm going to pull up our questions here. All right, I'm going to ask you, and then I'll just kind of respond with my answers, I guess.
Okay.
Because how it is. Sure. Okay, you have to answer short.
Like, oh, man.
You have to try.
You're talking to the wrong guy for you want a short answer.
You have to try. Do this for me.
We'll try.
Okay,
let's see the first question.
I know. Okay, so first question. Least favorite part of the build so far?
Least favorite. I almost want to say what Chad just said. The pouring the foundation. That was pretty tough, man. That sucked.
Yeah.
It was like
that was very physically difficult.
Yeah, and we were only pumping for I don't know an hour maybe. It was really fast, but This is not a lightning answer. Doing the foundation, it freaking was not fun. It was scary. Yeah. And just even the setup. I mean, I couldn't sleep the night before, so I was just like, man, is it gonna fall over? And it didn't. And here we are.
Okay, next question.
What about you?
Oh, my least favorite part? Yeah. My least favorite part was going up on the ladder fully extended in the wind and finishing the fascia like 20 feet up in the air. Yeah.
That was her least favorite because I wouldn't do it. I was like, dude, I was scared for her. I was like, man, I am, for someone who will fly all over the world, I don't care about airplanes. If the plane's going down, I'm done, like whatever. But like, if I can see the ground coming at me, like just in slow motion, 20 feet, and I'm probably not going to die. I mean, if I hit my head, probably, but if I just get really hurt.
Are you talking more during my lightning round answer?
Hey, I told you.
This is the last lightning round.
Favorite part of the build so far?
Favorite part of the build.
Anytime I finish something, I'm like, that's done.
I would say finishing that last window on my birthday. That install, that felt really good.
Which window was it?
It was the bathroom window. We had to reinstall for the third time. It took like four tries to get in there because we didn't get the frame right. And
I don't know how the measurement was off.
I don't know.
That was me.
That's all in a video though, and actually, that was edited really fun.
Love and miss you too, Dad. Hope you're doing so great in Cambodia.
Hi, Gary. Okay, so that was my favorite part. What was your favorite part?
Oh, I said anytime I finish.
Oh,
anytime we finish something and we're like,
yes, you're right.
Wow,
sorry.
That's done.
Yeah, anytime something's done, it's the best part. Okay, in one sentence, describe what it's like living in an RV off grid at almost 10,000 feet of elevation.
I will not ever do this again.
I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. That's my one sentence. No. Yeah, we'll just leave that at that.
As soon as we're done building, I'm taking
gone.
That to a place, and I hope that they take it.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Gone.
Someone's driving up.
Okay, if you weren't building a house, what would you be doing? Remember, lightning answer.
I can't answer that because there's
too many things.
Because I was trying to commission. I was going back to school. I was doing that, and then I was like, this is where I want to be. Maybe I gotta make something. So when we're done building, I intend to get back. I was never really good at making music. I was good at playing music, but I'll probably get back into making music and just having fun. And that's one of the things I want to do for fun. What about you?
Let's see. I was like trying to think of an answer before, and I think it's because I am spam call. Because I still work. I'm like, I would go, like, what would I do besides like work and build? I don't know. I think if I wasn't building a house, I would have more hobbies.
Yeah.
I think I would still be doing like work and stuff, and I would hope I would be doing something creative, like making these videos and having that. But honestly, like just having more free time to do hobbies is what I would be doing.
I mean, I think everyone should just do what makes you feel alive. It's just like it could be It could be anything. I want to bake a cake. I have all these cakes recipes saved on my phone. I can't wait to have the house built so I can start baking them. You know what I mean? It's just like just things that are fun and you can share it with the world, with your spouse, your friends and family. But like it's kind of weird here because we have to share a lot of stuff on the internet because like we're literally like our friends over there are what is that like 3/4 a mile away?
So they're about a little more than half a mile. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Any regrets about leaving Florida?
Nah.
I just included this one because it's an easy answer.
No. Every time I think about like, hey, we'll go visit, Chelsea's like, I'm not even the one with family there.
I know. So
I'm willing to visit you guys. I'm telling you. I told Chelsea, it's like, I'll go visit.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I've met a lot of people, or I've talked to people who have been like, oh, I moved to Colorado, or I would love to move to Colorado. And I'm like, oh, where do you live? Or like, where are you from? Or whatever. And they're like, Florida. And they also want to get out of Florida. But then you meet a lot of people in Colorado who don't like the weather and they move to Florida. So there's actually a lot of like cross transplanting there.
Yeah.
But I love Colorado.
I love it. I would have no regrets moving here at all.
No regrets.
There are things I miss about Florida.
Sure.
But there are things that I hate so much about Trump. I hate about Florida that trumps those things that I love. You know, so like I mean, I think we saw one day it was like, oh, it's whatever weather here, and I don't remember what day. It could have been months ago, but I was like, man, it's like 80 something degrees there. Like, no, thank you. I mean, 80 sometimes is not that bad, but 80 and humid, no, thank you.
80 and humid is rough. Yeah. Okay. So last question: should we do another live stream?
Yeah, and I think what we should do is if we have, well, first of all, we gotta have the place clean. But if our internet connection is better in the house, I'd love to do it there. We could do a little walkthrough.
Yeah, we should do that next time.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, because it would be cool to see, you know, to actually show some of the stuff that we're working on directly. If everybody was like, hey, I want to see this one. It's really not that big. So it's like it takes 10 seconds. I could probably walk the computer over there right now, but like
probably could. It might drop a little bit, but the internet connection, not the laptop.
No.
But I think next time. So our goal, as we're kind of wrapping up here, is to start doing these monthly. And if they're supposed to be like a feature for our Patreon and YouTube members, but we kind of want to build just like that routine before we get to that point. So it's possible the next one will be open for everyone. But next time it's possible we'll be able to show samples of things like tile and flooring that we're doing in the house, because once we get over the inspection hump, then we're like doing the fun design thing.
I sure hope so. I hope. I want to close those walls up.
I need the fun things again. I need it. So anyway, anything else you want to say to our adoring fans?
Yeah, I love you all. I miss my family. I miss my friends. You know, you're welcome to call or text me anytime. A lot of times I'm just like in the zone. Once I start working, I'm sometimes like zoned in, and then sometimes I'm sitting there like thinking about how I'm going to do something for like a long time. So some things takes me a lot longer than I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, yesterday was worse. I was like, I'm going to get all this done, and then I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to do this? So, but you know, it's I think, and just don't be afraid of failure. You know, I talked to the inspector the other day, and it's like, I don't want to fail, but I want him to catch things that are gonna fail, because you know, this what we're making, I want that to outlast me, and then if someone else lives, I don't care what happens when I'm gone, but I also don't want like someone to get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't plan to sell it, but I mean, I don't you know, it's a coffin I'm building. So lots of people are leaving Florida. I'm assuming they're moving to West Cliff. What's the biggest difference between living in Colorado
last lightning question
from Florida?
Biggest difference.
So many differences. Well, the weather is very different.
I would say the people too. And it's so hard to say Colorado as like a whole, because we live in just like this little tiny microcosm of a little tiny rural place where like nobody lives. But I would say the biggest difference is that everyone here, because we are pretty rural, is so nice and cares pretty genuinely about each other.
Yeah.
And just even like random people you meet. That's just very delightful.
I don't know if I've met anyone who's been like directly rude. I was worried about that. Like, man, maybe something. I mean, the other day, I I ate lunch in the truck. I went into town. I ate lunch in the truck, and then I think it was my fault. I was like watching something on my phone or something like that, and had the Bluetooth going. And I say all that because I drained the battery apparently. Oh, there it goes. I drained the battery, so I go to the grocery store, come back, and in the car, the truck won't start. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, come on, Brian, you know better than this. And I have jumper cables in the truck, but I walk in and I'm like, okay, well, I do have to go to the bathroom. So I walk in and the cashier is like, hey, man, because it's very small. Everyone, he knows. I'm like, only black dudes walk back in. He's like, oh, I recognize that guy. You know? Yeah. So I walk back in and he's like, hey, man, you okay? What's going on? And I was like, man, so my truck won't start. And he's like, oh man, you hear his brain just like wiring. He's like, how am I gonna help this guy? You know? And then the customer is like, I can help you, but I don't know if I'm like my cables, you know. And like before, I'm like, I kind of need to pee though, but like,
he was there, he was ready.
Yeah, so he finished up, and then we went out, and he had a 2500. I ran 2500, and he had one too. So hooked him up. We talked a little bit about trucks, and
he was great.
Yeah,
he was very nice.
Started, and then our neighbor. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I have a neighbor down here. His name is Steve. I have another neighbor up here. His name is Steve, and then we have a neighbor 2 plots over. His name is Steve. Well, the first Steve, he doesn't live there, but he's just plowing everybody's driveways and plows the road. He has a friend who lives past us. I haven't met him. Apparently, he's a jerk. But the wife is delightful. We met with Joyce. Pam. Yeah, we met Pam. Pam Joyce, single syllable, right? Anyway, so he came by and if we leave our gate open, he just comes up, plows it twice, and then takes off. And I'm like, that's awesome. So he didn't plow this time. It was very light snow. I mean, it's already melted. Yeah, people are great here. What drew us here originally was we were looking in a different county, and when we found that this county was home builder friendly, that was one of the things. Sorry, owner builder friendly. That was one of the things, and then but the thing that I think initially we saw was that it's a dark sky zone, and so dark sky zone is like when the whole community comes together and there's like these rules that they do to keep the sky from light pollution. So when we have a light, you know, at least has to have a shield or it's aiming down. And this is one example. And it's awesome. I mean, some people don't abide by it, you can tell, but I think when the inspectors come by, they're like, hey man.
Yeah.
So, but people probably, if they don't, not everyone's getting everything expected here, but just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good questions, everyone.
Yeah.
We did it. We filled a whole hour.
But that's the biggest thing that's in Florida and Colorado.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So many things.
I had a neighbor once. Sorry, we still have people here, so we're gonna share. I had a neighbor. He was like, "Oh, you're handy, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And then he was like, "Can you come over and help me close this drawer, this cabinet?" Are you here, Mike? Let me call you out. So he goes he's like, hey, and I look at it. I don't remember the problem, but it was like a screw, and I think I just like twisted it a little differently. Oh. Yeah, I was like, here you go, the cabinet closed. But I'm just saying, like,
city living versus country.
We help each other out, you know, and same concept, you know, and it's people being friendly. I mean, we met him because he was like, hey, you should come over for a drink sometime, and then that's when we still drank. Yeah. Anyway,
I can't talk more than an hour. Sorry, I'm done.
She's been talking on. She does FaceTime every day.
I do Zoom. FaceTime. The Zooms, the Teams.
Not me. This is my social hour. So.
I know. Sorry. You want to keep going?
I'm good. Dinner. Hey, but thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
You know, my father's in the other side of the world. I love you. or if we have friends and family in Florida.
Yes.
I don't know if people in Oklahoma are there. I didn't see anyone chat from.
Maybe they were on the TV. So
Maybe,
chat.
yeah. But if you are, I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to even the people we don't know in real life who commented. You know, a bunch of you guys I've seen in our comments.
I love the comments.
So thank you.
I love the uplifting comments.
Yeah, not the comments.
Hey, you should have done this. That's dumb. It's like, okay, cool, brother.
So we'll do another live stream probably towards the end of March, and we'll just keep you guys posted when that is.
Yeah.
So enjoy your Thursday night. Tomorrow is March.
It is.
Happy Friday Eve. I think I'm gonna try and throw an ad in here. I don't know. I'm supposed to do that.
You're supposed to?
Yeah, I was supposed to do an ad somewhere,
Ugh,
but I don't think I
did.
No
one likes
so.
ads.
All right, no ads. Lucky you guys. Bye.